welcome to this episode of Trends. It seems to be one where we're actually spotlighting a story that ah is quite
Mm,
heavy, quite
indeed.
quite heavy. I'm not alone. My name is PJ. With me in the studio, to my right is Nakale Eskonakale,
Ladies and gentlemen.
and to my left I have Ife Olua with us today.
Hello.
Yes, I think we should also say Happy Easter. It's the season
Yes,
of
yes, yes, yes,
Easter.
yes.
How
Mm,
was the
Indeed.
the break, the Easter break for those of us who actually had break?
the
Heartbreak.
How
chicken
was
crunching.
yes? How was that? How was that for everyone? Today we're spotlighting Plateau killings
Mm,
and everything revolving around that, and insecurity in northern Nigeria
mm,
particularly. How this doesn't seem to be making news anymore.
mm.
It doesn't seem to be a cause for us to have this sort of sit down and talk and then address some of these issues. We're asking why, the big question, we're asking why. Why does this never make the news? And how come this has gone on for so long, has not been curbed, and is still going on till today? Yesterday, there was a peace walk in honor of victims of some of these killings in Plateau State. And we have records of communities being shut down by some of the herdsmen responsible for these killings.
Mm.
We have people who have lost loved ones. We have children who have been rendered fatherless and motherless. And it's just a whole lot, guys.
It's terrible. I think the worst part for me, PJ, is the fact that these things never get to make it to mainstream media anymore.
Why?
Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you almost need to thank God for social media that we can always keep up with happenings around the world. We have people
Yeah.
reposting, sharing, and sharing pictures and videos of live events happening on the go. The sad part of this whole thing is that it seems like both the government and the average citizen in Nigeria has turned a blind eye and sort of a deaf ear to the happenings, to the numerous killings going on in the north. I mean, Boko's in Plateau State recently.
Yeah.
I mean, they were hit with a wave of violence that led to death. I mean, over 100 people confirmed death. I know once the media says 100 people are dead,
You
you
know it's
It's
more.
more
probably
than
have
that.
It's more.
200 people and
Much more.
just have to manage the information and all that. So it means people are dying on a daily basis, which ought not to be. I mean, if we keep up with this pace, we will not have people in the north anymore. We will not have Christians in the north. And that's one thing that it needs to be categorically stated, that this is a targeted,
Yes.
intentional, this is a targeted onslaught against believers, against Christians in the north, because they are being killed. And I mean, I saw, if you see the pictures, we'll not be able to put them up for, the gory nature
Yeah.
of them. I mean, they are so gory, PJ. You see children slaughtered in their sleep, cut. You see people covered with leaves and clothes, people on the streets, people in their farms. Maybe someone was just farming and then got attacked and butchered. Where are we going to as a country? And it's unfortunate that we have turned a blind eye to it. And you see, the truth of the matter is, while we are not the government, the least we can do is to raise a cry about it. Even as believers,
Yes.
we might not have the political power, we might not have the armed forces at our command or at our beck and call, but we have our voices, we have our platforms, and on trends as a people, we strongly, criticize and we criticize the killings of Christians in Plateau and in any part of the country, in fact, and we want to make a statement that this must end. The government needs to do better, PJ.
It just really looks like we've maybe gotten used to it. It has, become
That's
before
it.
when this
That's
thing
it.
started.
Mhm.
It was
Yes.
wow. Everybody
Yes.
was wondering what's going on, what's going on. But all of a sudden, another set of, another
Yes.
round of headsmen have hit. Let's just keep praying.
Mm.
And then we feel detached because we might not feel like we are
Yes.
directly involved.
Yes.
Speaking of statements and the government doing something, the governor of Plateau State actually made a statement.
Caleb moved on.
Yes, and he said that the invaders were armed with sophisticated weapons, and have displaced residents and taken over more
PJ,
than
this is
60
not news.
communities.
Every time the Boko Haram or herdsmen or whatever we want, because their names have been evolving over time, same agenda, same people. Every time we have had to face these people, the record or the testimony that the armed forces have, maybe soldiers that go on battle that face these guys one-on-one, every time you get to speak with them, they complain that these guys carry sophisticated weapons that they have never seen. You know, I saw a video recently. I wish I had that link. I can't remember. It came across my feed on social media where they had just, it was in, I think it was either in Kavacha, oh no, it was in Plateau. Some pastors came over and all that, and they were examining the bullets, you know, the cartridges of the bullets that falls after the those bullets, allegedly, what they say, those bullets are Nigerian bullets. They belong to the Nigerian military. Like I said, allegedly, right? So the question is, how are they armed with sophisticated weapons that and ammunitions that can be traced back to the Nigerian army? Because they shot the cartridges and it was clear that this belongs to the Nigerian army. Every armed force has their specifications with all of these things, so you can know if this is if it belongs to the army or not. I saw that and I began to say, of course, someone else will say this is a what do you call it now, conspiracy theory. So we can't say, like I said, it's allegedly.
It's alleged.
But it gives room for a lot of questions. What really is going on? Is this a calculated attempt by a set of people to Islamize Nigeria? Because
that's been the longest narrative that we've seen.
I want to just ask what you guys think. What is the motive behind this? Is it just an attempt to be Hitler the second, or is this a categorized intentional attempt to Islamize the country?
You know one of the things we want to also just address in this conversation is, how is it that this has gone on uncurbed for so long? There has to be an agenda, just like you said. There has to be a set of people who are gaining from this debt.
Yes.
There has to be a set of people who are making means from people losing their lives like this, because make it make sense.
Yes.
We're asking the question, how do economies thrive from insecurity? Because we know that for things like terrorism, attacks like this, for it to happen, is sponsored by a set of people.
Yes.
If you will sponsor anything, sort of means like you are investing in it.
Yes.
To what end?
True.
Yeah. We'll see that very soon. We'll get the budget for the year. We'll get budget for a community like this, and they'll redirect funds into, into maybe community reestablishment and all of those things. They'll just give it a name, and money is being disbursed, and some people are pocketing it. But what I don't know is, why do people have to die for you to gain? See, for the longest time, there has been means of corruption. It just goes to show that corruption will hit a system so deep that those who are profiting from it will go to any length, even if it means to facilitate or to bring about the death of the people that they were called to serve.
They see the people that eventually die from these things as collateral damage. The end game is just to make money, right? There's been a lot of conspiracy theory, and I call it conspiracy theory just to be safe, because we're online, and anything that is not proven can be termed as a conspiracy theory. But alleged or clearly stated, right? The budget for security before 2002, before 2002 was when the whole Boko Haram thing started, but they had a peaceful phase. Let's just say peaceful.
They had an introduction.
Where they were not yet violent.
Exactly. They just had an
introduction. They were selling their ideologies. And then I was in the north at the time, and we started hearing about Boko Haram, but what we learned was the agenda was they were against modern education. So they just wanted to eradicate modern education for their people. So everybody just felt like, okay, it was one of these extreme Islamic, they have like maybe like the Shiites and all of those people. It will come and go. Not until about 2009, when the leader was killed and Shekau took over and all that. It became violent, became a bloodbath in Nigeria, right? So I tried to get the statistics of what the budget for security in Nigeria was prior to 2009. And as at 2012, when it became full-blown that Nigeria was plummeled into that chaos and all that, the National Security Advisor received 950 million for operational costs and 29 billion naira for capital projects.
Sorry, operational costs for what?
To mitigate the so it's it's not only doubled, it's almost tripled. In fact, 60 to 70% of the Nigerian budget was channeled toward insecurity. Now you want to ask, who is benefiting from this?
So more people should keep dying.
Now this is the conspiracy theory. This is the theory. There are top conspiracy theory, like I said, disclaimer, right? There are top government officials that sponsor the Boko Haram to cause chaos, in turn making the country plummet into chaos, right? In a bid to curtail the chaos, money is pumped toward insecurity for security reasons, and then the money gets into them. So it's a vicious cycle. Gets to them, they sponsor, it continues, and from that time till today, the budget for insecurity, or security as you want to call it, in Nigeria has always been on a steady high, on a steady increase.
Because this has never stopped.
It has never stopped. So who is making the money? It means someone is eating fat off of the dilemma of Nigerians. People are dying. Some people are feeding fat, because this money goes to people. It goes to ammunition. Supposedly, it goes to weaponry. Yet the Nigerian military keeps complaining when troops are sent to face off the Boko Haram terrorists. They complain that they are giving guns that don't work. I've had a life. This was someone that was sharing with me, a soldier. He was in battle. His gun was hooking, whereas those guys are using automatic.
And now they've swapped the weapons now. It just really looks like they don't even give.
It's a normal thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
they have a text.
Yes.
A pre-programmed way to respond, and then they make it a form of racket
Sometimes
between themselves.
ChatGPT that will just.
Yes,
set
so
them.
former vice president is now using this as an opportunity to accuse our president
Yes.
of utter incompetence. I think that's, for a lack of better way to put it. If I actually do agree, because I do not see the move, and it's just so obvious. What do you think? It's obvious to the blind that there's no plan to actually curb this or put a stop to it.
Yeah, it's true. It has gotten to the level, like, even the citizens, like, we've gotten, should I say, used or sensitized.
That
to
one, we'll talk about it. How media tells you what to
believe.
Yes, what to believe, and then knows how to give you,
Yes.
give you the news.
Yeah, so we've gotten sensitized to it, in the sense that, and one thing about humans is that we have a high sense of self-preservation. When things keeps hurting you, at some point you will detach. Your body system will develop a way of just preserving your emotions. So when we keep hearing these people die here, this number of people die here, and there's nothing being done, like what he said, there's no security. Even though they say they are doing something, it seems as if it's not meeting up to these people that are coming. They have more weapons, they have more.
How is it possible
How
in
are they getting
2025 that you say Nigeria in 2025 cannot deploy technology to combat miscreants in the bushes that are not educated, that are not enlightened? Even if you have educated ones amongst them, are they more sophisticated than? I mean, if this was any sane country, sorry to say, if this was any sane country, it takes just one technological innovation and they are wiped out for life. All you need is a drone. You don't need much. You just need to deploy at least 1,000 drones around areas that are marked as red zones, that will identify them from your. See, I'm telling you that the world has gone beyond the time where we say, "Oh, we are helpless, we can't find them." If they are not being curbed, it's because there is someone behind sponsoring them that we think is a friend but is a foe. That is saying leave them to be, because there is no way. PG, I'm telling you that all it takes is a drone. In this Ukraine and Russia war that has been going on for a while, at some point the fight was just with drones. Carry your drone, send missile with your drone, clear the people. It's not so difficult, PJ. And we can't tell me that Nigerians that go to other countries and become top officials in top sectors or top firms cannot come back home or set up
the same.
Those kind of things will not work. You know why? Because those who are gaining from the lack of it being used.
And also, I think it's in two parts. There's the part of those gaining in terms of resources, and also there's the religious part.
Yes.
Because the tops are gaining, but what about those at the grassroots? Those that are keeping their hiding, like where they are hiding, that they are not sending them out.
Yes.
So there will
Yes.
even be people that are sponsoring them from their own personal
Yes.
money, just because of the umbrella of where they are.
Our president, all the way from France, sent his message. He condemned the killings and reassured Nigerians that his administration remains resolute in ending insecurity. Quote, forces of evil will never prevail over the country, he declared. He also disclosed that he had issued firm directives to the armed forces and other security agencies to take decisive action. Cliche. What this thing, you can come back to another newspaper in another 2 years. This thing will be copied
2
and
years
pasted.
is even long.
2 years
In
is
a
even
month's
long.
time.
Our Inspector General of Police ordered commissioners of police across the country to enhance visibility policing, boost intelligence gathering, and intensify patrols across public spaces.
This is 2025, for crying out loud.
He's
What patrols should have gone beyond
Jesus
somebody
Christ.
driving a car? I mean,
It's
you literally,
intelligence gathering. I
you,
don't know
you
what that
literally, PJ, you literally just need to sit in a room with multiple screens. You have your drones going into the interiors. Wherever is a hot zone, you use, if it's even at night, you use heat signature. You would identify who these people are. We see these things that they are possible. AI makes it possible. The possibilities of AI are almost endless. This is what we are still.
We don't have leaders.
Patrols.
That's the truth. We don't.
I saw.
They
see
travel
how things are.
outside of the country. They see the way things are. They are even
It
secured
must not
going
work.
outside the country.
You must not work in Nigeria. If you work,
So
then
the
they are
truth
doomed.
of it is, a lot of people benefit from the Nigeria that does. Top, for what do you call them now? The big fives and all
I
those.
think they will only
major-
extend an hand to you when they've already seen that.
They benefit
That's-
from the
yeah.
insecurity.
They do.
They benefit from the security. That's why a country like Libya was doing well and fine. All of a sudden, they ganged up and made the people come against their leader. Right? In the same vein, we see in Burkina Faso, Captain Traore, the same thing. They have attempted to kill him on several occasions. Because why? He has blocked out any external
They don't
influence.
have
He said, we
access.
will do our country by our
Every form
countrymen.
of aid that a country like receives with open arms, there's always an agenda
Yes.
behind it.
Yes.
And we have to be wary of handouts, handouns, and all those things. We have to be wary of it, because for how long? That means there has to be a system where you constantly collect or constantly are receiving for that system to keep thriving or have
Yes,
power over you.
yes.
And if we have bent so low for so long, it means that those who have seen the fruit of it will go at any length. And that's what we are saying now.
Yes.
We see how passive our leaders have become, how cold they are, how detached they are. I'm reading all these
Detached,
things and I'm
yes.
wondering,
Yes.
do you understand the gravity of what has happened? People have been rendered like without family. And you're saying that you have, you're doing intelligence gatherings. And there's even a report that says that the first police relations officer was saying that the citizens should open up for, information to be disseminated amongst them.
It's a bad day in the
It's
country.
sad.
It's a bad day in the country. And
It's
I would like to categorically, and on behalf of all of us here at Trends, condemn the killings, whether it's Christians, Muslims, killings generally in this country. Enough is enough. And we would like to plead and reach out to the government and those in authority. It must go beyond just mere words, PJ. It has to go beyond. We are tired of hearing those rhetorics that are just like, sometimes are even more annoying than the event itself, because you seem very detached. We need to have a leader, a government, a leadership that is in touch with the feelings of the people. People are dying on a daily basis. I mean, that is like the primary need to stay alive. At least before we even talk of food, let them first stay alive. If you have failed in security, and that was what you accused the past government of, and you said,
you
okay,
do better.
now it's time for you to do better. Do better. Don't just fly off to France when the president does not even want to see you. Please stay back in your country and fix the country. That's all I have to say.
Fix the country. A certain musician released a song recently, and it was addressing the president indirectly through his son, alleged, and I was just recounting how that, there has to be a way that we speak up.
Yeah.
We have a very high threshold in Nigeria for pain, for anything. We have high threshold.
Yes.
And we get used to things fast. We adapt.
Yes.
It's a blessing and a
coping
curse.
mechanism that we have
It's a
built
blessing
over
and
time.
a curse. Let us not get so used to seeing our fellow human die. Like Nakale said, it doesn't have to be Christian or Muslim.
Yes.
People are losing their lives and they don't have to.
Yes.
At the end of the day, if you would even want to reach people, you want to reach the unsaved. If it's Muslims that are going, that means that our agenda as believers
yes,
even been truncated.
True
So let us speak out by every means. I reference that guy's music not because I'm endorsing it, but I'm saying that he spoke up.
Yes.
You know, it was until he even spoke out that people started to say, actually things are this bad. In that song, he said something like, "This is now 40K. This is actually now 40K. Things are gotten bad." Right? And we must not be silent. Evil thrives when good people are quiet. We must not be silent.
True that.
If your last words.
Yeah, and also a call out to the media. Because it's as if these things are not even making the news anymore. If not for social media, we'll not find out. Like reading the comments now, someone said,
let's take comments, please. You can take
someone
comments.
said, that's Saintina Zimanek. Sorry if I butchered your name, I'm sorry. So the person said, "Thank you for bringing this topic. I am learning because I don't know a lot about all this with our politics."
How would you not know about these things? Have been going on since 2020.
Imagine.
Mainstream media
2000.
conceals it.
From
So
2000s.
Yes, mainstream. So when there is need for every point when Nigerians, the agitation within Nigeria begins to rise, where people want to speak out and make a major move,
Like
they come with a distraction like Big Brother Nigeria, a distraction like Champions, something that will just take
like
the Nigerian youth.
taking off.
And because the people that have the ability to save Nigeria are the youths as it stands, right? The power is with the youth. But keep these guys busy, give them Bet Nigeria, keep these guys busy, make them agitated, make them too bitter to think. So the only thing they can do is to drag and also drag their saviors.
For example, this 30-day rant that just ended,
Yes.
it got to a point where everybody was speaking up and they were speaking up, and then it got to a point that it now became as if we now turn against each other.
Yes.
And it now become that people were now making
the
videos
focus
that,
was now even
that
defeated.
some like celebrities in quotes, that the way they are talking is not like they are talking as if they've collected bribe. So it now became a war amidst ourselves. Like, we are saying let us speak up. These people spoke up and now you are turning against them. So why will another person want to speak up? So that person will not want to risk you coming against him. So that is something that is also like a trend with us, like what he said in this country. Anytime things get to the boiling point, there's something that will come up. Is it that they bring up something that will make us turn against each other, or just a form of distraction in terms of entertainment, like giving us peanuts to distract us from the old treasury that they are taking away from us. So that's just the call out. Thank God for social media, and also as much as we can, let us educate ourselves about these things. Let us speak up about these things. Let us do our part. And also I will say let us pray. I know prayer is not the only thing we have to take. In fact, prayer is like behind the scene. The really unseen thing that we need is for actions to be taken, for security to be tightened. But we also need to pray, because that's the state that we have now. Let's just pray that God will give us the right leaders, and also the people that are coming up, that they are seeing the things that is happening now. They should not get there and start doing something else.
Thank you so much. Talking about media, I really do look forward to investigative journalism coming back to Nigeria again. Like, we need more investigative journalism that beyond the surface that we get in newspapers and other media news agencies. We actually trace the root cause, and we have people who are bold enough to call it out. Thank you so much for joining us today. You can still send in your comments. If you're watching this on YouTube and you've not yet subscribed to Ambience TV on YouTube, do well to subscribe. If you're watching on our free-to-air, you can send your contributions with the number on your screen, and do not touch that dial. Keep watching. This is Trends. As we call it a wrap, my name is PJ.
Nakali.
Ifeoluwa.
Thank you for joining us.
See you soon.
Bye.